Good morning, friends. I thought I'd hop on here and show you this little Memorydex card I'm working on for a swap. I decided to make a 3D Memorydex card. These are kind of like my obsession lately. I think they're so fun. Everything miniature size is obviously cute. Then throw it on a Memorydex card and life is made, right? So I used a silhouette cut file. It's a haunted house cut file for my house. I did alter the size some to make it fit on a Memorydex card base. This is just a base that I have saved from other 3D projects, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute, like measurements and things. So all I did was keep shrinking the file down until it was the same width as my memory card base. So about 4 inches wide for the front of the house. I can't tell you the measurements of how I condensed the whole file because I just kept measuring this front part of the house to make sure that it would fit the base of my Memorydex. I'll go over a little bit what I used for it. So the cut file gives you the actual house in 2 pieces, this part and this part, little boxes that kind of glue together, and then all these trim pieces you see and the roof line. And then it gives you a cut file to put the front of the house on. I did add some extras, and I'll go over that too. When it gave me the cut file, you know, it just, like in plain cardstock, this is kind of what it looks like. It's got all the lines where you would fold and glue and things together, all those seams on the side, and then it gives you the trim pieces. On the sides, it kind of left it where it just gave you the trim for the window and no piece inside. So that would have just left like the original cardstock showing. And I didn't like that. Here, I'll show you what I did on the first prototype that I worked on. Whoops, let's show you this side. That's what it would have looked like. And I just wasn't happy with that. So I did go back and add in another rectangle that would fit behind this frame so that I could make it look like there were ghosts in the house inside the windows. So I did add that, but beyond that, everything else was in the cut file. I also added this circle behind to make it look like I had a moon behind the cut file, just so I could layer it up. So this circle I cut is, let's see, its widest part is about 4.5 inches. So the house is 4 inches. The circle for the moon behind is 4.5. All right, let's go over a little bit of what I did. I had this little ghost in my stash. Sorry, I'm trying to lose my voice. In my stash from previous swaps. I think one of my friends sent me that, a die cut. Same thing with the little pumpkin. And then these little spiders. So the cut file has a spider there. I'll show you on this house. But he just doesn't like stick out enough, I didn't feel like, especially on this purple paper. So I had some little glitter cutout spiders and I just added him on there. I went over the web that's in the cut file with some, what's this stuff called? Stickles. I used this white glittery stickles for the spider web to kind of make it pop. I didn't like that the cut file, like here, it has some scalloped edging on the roof line here, but not on the front. I felt like that was just a little bit plain. So I added some smaller pom-pom trim there to kind of give the illusion of a scalloped roof. And I used larger pom-pom trim to add at the bottom for some detail. I layered up the ghost and the pumpkin and the cat. This was a cut file from Silhouette as well. I just cut these little cats out. I had these little bows in my stash. I layered those up with foam dots to give them a little dimension. These were just little fall, like confetti leaves that I had, that I glued on there to give it a little shimmer. In the back here, again, the bats are from Silhouette cut files. I just sized them down. I sized it all around to make it appropriate, proportionate to the house. These, what I call spooky trees, are picks that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that look like this, glittery picks. They're $1, obviously. It says branch, so I guess it's a glittery branch in the Halloween decor aisle at Dollar Tree. Okay, so my son is up and he's over there getting a snack this morning, so you might hear him in the background. So let's go over how I made this. Okay, there's the back. It's plain. I'm just going to put a sticker on there, you know, with my name on it or whatever. So, okay, let's get started. So your silhouette cut file looks like this. You'll get these pieces. Like I said, it makes 2 sides to the house. And you also get, well, I'll get to the trim and stuff in a minute. So let's just start with this. Now I'm just gonna fold all these seams that are cut in the cut file. Can't believe it's September already. Where has this year gone? I feel like every day's kind of been like Groundhog Day. My kids have been home from school since April 22nd, and they have not started back yet. They start back next Tuesday after Labor Day. We have construction going on in our school system. In our school system, the elementary school, middle school, high school, they are all in the same campus. So while they're separate buildings, they're all in the same area. So when there's, you know, stuff going on at the high school, it delays the whole school system from opening. So that's kind of what's going on right now. We're just waiting for that construction stuff to be finished, and then my kids will head back. So I'm going to start with these 2 small tabs on the bottom and just glue those. I just use my art glitter glue on this part. That way if I need to move it a little bit, I can. And then I'm going to stick this one that's on the front of the house inside of the other. So grab my little bone folder and push that down in there to make sure the inside adheres. And then I'm going to do this side tab. With the glue, same art glitter glue. I'll use my hot glue gun here in a little bit, but to start with, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I really like it. Kind of addicted to it. And I'm almost out of this bottle, so I've got another one on hand if we need it. Okay, so that gives you the first part of the front of your house. And this one, the door is going to be going the other way because I folded it a different way. That's okay. All right, and then with this second portion, this makes the smaller side of the house. Same thing, just going to fold it at the seams. And get that prepped for glue. This is a really easy little cut file to follow. Self-explanatory, no directions needed. And I thought I'd show you how I put mine together anyway. Again, I'm going to start with those smaller tabs that are on the bottom. Fold them in. Look, I already pulled that one up after I pushed it down. Just try to get that lined up correctly. And I'm going to put this one on the inside, so I want to put glue on the bottom. So I can tuck that in there on top of those other flaps. And use my bone folder again to push all that down. I'm going to take this side panel, stick it in. My little dog's over here keeping me company too, so you may hear her every now and then scooching around. She pretty much follows me everywhere I go in the house, so wherever I am, she's not far away. Get that to adhere. Okay, so then you're just going to take your 2 sides and put them together. You could also do it this way, but since I've cut my paper, I'm going to do it this way. Again, just putting glue on the side of this house, this piece of the house, and adhering it to the larger side. Just want to hold that together, press it together, make sure that that's really sticking. Okay, so your cut file comes with, once you have this together, you're going to cover up that seam because it gives you a back piece, a solid piece, and a front. Now, if you're using, look, I've done my door backwards. We'll figure that out. I'll just cut that off. If you're using pattern cardstock like I have here, this piece will fit on fine, but you do need to rotate your back piece. So this would have cut out, like, see what I mean? Like it would have cut out this way had I not flipped it. So make sure you flip it if you're going to use your pattern cardstock. Got to do a horizontal mirroring on that. I learned that the hard way the first time. Okay, so we'll just flip my door around the other way. I'm going to leave the door on this one gray and decorate it. I don't know. I'm trying to make them pretty similar because this is a pairing of, I'm going to have two swap partners, so I'm trying to make them very, very similar. Okay. Again, just putting glue all over the front so I can put my decorative cardstock on. Oh, the cardstock I'm using, I forgot, or the pattern paper I'm using, I forgot to mention that that is a Martha Stewart line. It's just something I had in my stash. Pretty sure my mom handed it off to me. She gave me some scrapbooking stuff that she wasn't using any longer. So I've just had that one in my little Halloween stash since, I guess, last year she gave it to me. So I'm just putting my decorative paper on there to cover that up. Otherwise, it's just cardstock. Like I cut a piece of cardstock out too, so it just looked like this, and I just like the decorative better. That's up to you. You can do it either way. You can always decorate it enough that you wouldn't need any cardstock. Maybe I'll make the door like this. Just flip. So that's my purple side, and on the back side it had this crazy snake print. So now the front door on this house is going to be snakes and spiders, my two least favorite things in the world. But, you know, Halloween, we can deal with the creep. And I'm going to push that in just some, like the door has creaked open, and I'll show you why I did that. And you can push it out, push it in, leave it flat, however you want to do it. I pushed mine in some. Okay, so there's the front. And then on the back, again, just going to put our decorative cardstock over it. Covers the seams where the two pieces meet together. Gives it a more finished look. I'm not worried about the bottom. I'll show you why in a few minutes. Easy peasy. Okay, let's move on to the sides. So like I said, your cut file comes with frames that goes with the trim. Oh, that would have been cute too. Might flip this one over and do it a little different. But anyway, I also, like I said, went back and cut out some rectangles that would fit. Okay, so I just went back and cut some rectangles that would fit inside the windows. I just like that look better than just like this, okay? And you could cut just pattern cardstock again, but I kind of wanted it to look like you could see inside the house. So on the other house, I used this trim, but I think, no, I won't because I already cut my front trim pieces. So I got to stick with what I originally did. Okay, never mind. Can you tell it's early in the morning? My brain's not fully working yet. Definitely more of a night owl than I am a morning person. What about you? Are you more likely to get up and get things done or stay up and get things done? I like to stay up and get things done. But that hasn't been working out for me lately, so I thought I'd do a morning tutorial instead. P.S. This is my first tutorial. I usually just do project shares. But I thought, okay, I know what I'm doing with this one. I figured this one out. So quick and easy little tutorial. All right, so there's my window with my little ghosts inside. Flip over, do the same thing on the other side of the house. Kind of centering that little rectangle up that I made. And adding the window frame. My son bounces a ball 24/7. That's his thing. He has autism, and I would say that bouncing a ball is his biggest stimulus behavior? No. Stimming behavior. So you'll probably hear that. And it's funny because I kind of block it out most of the time. It's just such a normal noise in our house. I don't even hear it anymore. But if you do and it's bugging you, I apologize. But that's what's happening. Okay. So I'm just putting this little panel on the front. Kind of trims out the house. Gives it some detail. It would be cute if you maybe pop that up with some foam tape. Give it a little more dimension. I think that would be cute too. But obviously not necessary if you use, you know, very contrasting colors. Like that really pops off that purple. Okay, moving on. Oh, nope, not moving on. Let's do this window before I lose it. I hate when cut files, I hate when cut files have small pieces that I have to carry from where I cut to where I assemble, and then I lose them. So I try to put them all together here on the table. All right, now the front is all trimmed out and finished. So let's move on to the roof. Okay, so you're gonna have two pieces of roof. I did mine in this crazy pattern. My sister saw this and she said it looks very Beetlejuice-like, which I like because that was one of our favorite movies when we were growing up. Okay, so this cardstock, I did the same thing the other day when I used this. It's hard for me to see the score lines. So there we go. There's the first one. I believe there's 2 score lines in this. Yep, there we go. Okay, so you have 2 score lines on this piece. So it goes like so. The long piece gets folded like this because it goes up this part of the house. Might be helpful if I actually showed you what I'm talking about. Let me flip it this way. So it goes up and down here. And then this piece only has one small tab and it goes here. So I'm gonna glue this one on first because like it's measured out, or there's enough width that you could have a little overhang in the back and the front for your roof. I'm gonna push it so that it's flush with the back because I'm gonna put that moon on the back side. So I'm gonna start with my smaller side because it has this tab that I want my longer side to cover up. So I'm just taking glue and putting them down these roof tabs. My son is never up this early. Leave it to when I want to do a tutorial that he's up. I unexpectedly stayed home today. I thought I had to go do something, but ended up I have the day at home. So I thought I'd do this, and of course he's up early. Okay, so make sure that sticks on there well. This takes a minute for some reason. And I forgot to put glue here, so let me put a little glue here to get this tab to lay down. Again, just trying to make sure that adheres well. Make sure, whoops, look, I'm already messing it up. So I gotta make sure that that back side's more flush and the overhang is more toward the front. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my larger piece of my roof. Again, it folds like this. So your long side obviously goes here, short, short. So I'm gonna put glue here. On all of these tabs. All right. Then it just presses down. Again, I'm moving mine so that it is flush on the back with the overhang all toward the front. You see what I mean? just get that to stick on there like it should. Adhere to those tabs. You might have to hold this for a minute just to get it to stick. Let all that glue bond it together. So that's what your house looks like just using the cut file only. It'll, with the exception of that rectangle, which I showed you that I cut. Okay, so there we go. We have the house. Let me show you how I did the Memorydex base. So this is your typical base on a Memorydex card. It's just cut down. And then I added, I don't know, let's see how much space I added here. So from top to bottom, this piece is about 1.5 inches. And I know I scored that at 5/8 of an inch. Okay, and then you're just gonna, like I said, score it. You're gonna fold one forward, and the other piece backward. Then you're going to glue these two together, and then this gives you a base to stick your Memorydex card to. So I'm going to put my decorative paper on. I cut it out in this metallic silver, again from that same collection, Martha Stewart collection. I'm thinking that probably came from maybe Joann's once upon a time. That's my mom's favorite crafting store. We don't have one very close to us, so I hardly ever go to Joann's for my paper crafting stuff. My mom sews a lot, so she's in Joann's quite a bit, and that's where she probably got her paper pad. Okay, so just gluing all that on. And then, like I said, you glue these two pieces together. And then you have your base. And then that should fit on just right on the bottom. And I just happened to get lucky when I was making my first one that I measured it all out right. That I added enough to my Memorydex card and scored it in the right place. I thought I'm gonna have to trim this up, but I didn't. It works out just right. So there you have it. There's your haunted house turn Memorydex card. As far as cardstock, I just used regular Michaels 65-pound cardstock because I knew that the decorative paper I was using was also like cardstock grade. So this means that this base layer has 4 layers of cardstock, and it's plenty heavy without being too heavy that it won't support, you know, the little house isn't too heavy for it. And then you just embellish how you like. And that's all I did. I hope this helped. I hope this gets your Halloween creativity going, and maybe you can make one of these too. And if you do, please tag me in your video. I'd love to see it. Have a good day.